Guys, Kia Sangria here. I know it's been a very long time since you've seen my face on this channel. I'm working on some really cool things which I hope will come to fruition very soon, but either way I am back here today to film another video for you guys. It's been a very long time since I've made an anime cosplay, and I really do miss the fun I would have when it came to making them. I have a soft spot for like 2006. I mean, we got some really iconic animes. We got Haruhi Suzumiya, we had Ouran High School Host Club, we had Death Note, we had so many other shows that are instrumental to the weeb that I am today. And one of those shows actually was Rosario to Vampire, or Rosario plus Vampire, or Rosario Vampire. Whichever one you decide to go with, they're all valid to me. Yes, I am actually one of the people that pronounce the X in Hunter, X-Hunter, but I digress. So if you don't know what Rosario to Vampire is, Rosario to Vampire is a series created by Akihisa Ikeda, which ran from 2004 to 2007 in Shonen Jump magazine before getting its own individual manga series and then eventually an anime. And this series is categorized as a harem. It's also a supernatural series. Wikipedia also lists it as a romantic comedy, which I definitely categorize it more as a romantic comedy than all of the other ones. But if you're familiar with harem animes, then it also has that feel too. I think this series is very fun. If you haven't seen it, you can probably catch it on Hulu now, or you can catch it on YouTube, possibly in its full episode form. When I originally started watching it, I had to watch it in 3 parts. OG anime watchers understand completely what I'm talking about when I say this, kind of showing my age here. But it already follows a boy named Tsukune who is unable to get into regular high schools because he has super piss poor grades. And so he ends up at a high school that is meant for monsters and demons and supernatural entities alike, where he meets a character named Mocha, who is actually the heroine of our series. And basically the story follows both of them around getting into different types of supernatural harem-like hijinks around the school. The anime follows that. The manga is a little bit darker, and I have to admit I have actually not ever finished the manga, which I should probably go back and try to find those. But the manga is a lot darker, and it goes into some places where the anime never did. I would really like for this series to have a reboot or a 3rd season, because the story I hear does get really interesting. Like Tsukune gets like a demon form or something or other. He becomes like, you know, a whole bunch of really cool stuff happens in the manga that we just never got to see animated on screen. But anyway, I have wanted to cosplay Mocha since I first saw the series, but back when I was watching this show, I didn't know how to sew, for one. And buying cosplays online was a very, very new concept. So there was no way for me to do this until now. And so I'm going to be cosplaying Mocha. I don't know what it is. She kind of fits like all of the check marks of what I like in a character. For one, she has pink hair, and she has 2 sides to her, 2 like forms. One like really, really sweet, and then the other really, really not sweet, like the complete polar opposite of that. And I don't know what it is. I find myself attracted to characters like that these days. Today I am going to be working on the uniform for Mocha. I am going to be using Mccalls M7141, which is this really cute school uniform cosplay pattern. I'm going to be using that to create this costume. I've actually never made anything like this before. I've never used this pattern, and I'm a little bit nervous because as much as I've sewn some pretty amazing things, the one thing that has always escaped me in terms of projects is pleated skirts. I don't know what it is about them, but they're really intimidating to me, and I'm really hoping for the best. I have all of my fabric here already. I've got my patterns and stuff already cut out. So I'm just gonna stop rambling. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I've already cut out the pattern, so the next part is to cut out the fabric. Alright, so I'm going to be starting with the skirt first, just because for me that's probably going to be the hardest part of this costume. So we're going to start sewing the skirt first, and then I'll come back to show you guys how I did and what it looks like. So let's go. Alright, so I've sort of pleated one side of the skirt. I tried to use the pattern markings to do this. As you can see, like, it has little markings for how to pleat it. I'm not feeling that confident in the way that I did this. Just for like full transparency, like here's how mine is looking. I've never pleated anything before. I, for the most part, try to avoid doing anything that calls for pleats, but it's a skill that I need to figure out how to learn. So we're just going to continue pushing on, and we're going to see how this comes out, and we're going to hope for the best, okay? The best way to get good at something is to suck at it first, unfortunately. So I think that's what we're going to do today. Alright guys, so this is what I have after like 2.5 hours of fiddling with this skirt. I think this is really as good as I'm going to get it. I realized while working with the tissue pattern that the pleats that they're telling me to do on this is actually box pleats, but really what I'm after is more of like, I guess, knife pleats, which is like, that's, you know, sailor fuku type pleats. So this is pinned all the way up here, and I don't want to hear the word pleat for the next like 7 years. At this point, this took me so long and it was so fiddly, and I'm really proud of myself for sticking with it, but this was just a pain to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just stitch the top to hold the pleats in place, and then I'm going to press them to hopefully keep them that way. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to shorten the skirt, because here's where it falls. I'm not sure if I want to take like another 2 inches off of it, or if I'm going to leave it like this, because I have a lot of juice in the caboose. So I feel like if I shorten it even more, it's just going to be like cheeked up under here, and that's not really what I'm after with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew these in place, and then I'm going to come back and we'll continue to work on the skirt. But hooray for me finally getting something right with this. Pleating is the hardest thing ever, and I think this is as good as it's going to get. So let's just go ahead and stitch these, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so the skirt is officially done. I've inserted a little clip to keep the skirt together on the side. This is the back. This is the front. I have already done a roll hem on it so that the bottom of it doesn't fray. But this is it. So honestly, this was the hardest part of making this costume. Everything from here on out is gonna be smooth because I have plenty of experience making blazers and like jacket type items. See my Utena cosplay. And I recently just made a shirt for my husband, so I already have enough experience with making shirts and everything else. This was the hardest part. So now we're just gonna go ahead and get started on the undershirt. And the first part of that will be to cut out. I just realized you guys can't see me. Hi, hello. So the next part that we're going to do for this costume is we're going to work on the shirt, which means it is time to cut out more fabric. I'm gonna just continue going along with making mocha. The shirt is next, so I'm gonna go ahead and start processing all of these cut pattern pieces so we can put the shirt together and then move on to the next step. So I'll see you in a little while. Okay, so I normally sew my buttons on by hand, but I know that I've had this little button attachment thing for my machine for such a long time, so I'm actually going to try sewing a button on using my machine. And oh my god, if this works, this is going to be such a game changer because I'm going to be able to finish this so much faster. But let's try. I currently have my feed dogs down, and this is actually the method I use to shorten zippers when they're too long. So I'm hoping that it works here too. Oh my god! Okay, I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, I have my my stitch speed set to like kind of in the middle. Let's hope we're gonna try this now. Just slowly. Oh my god, it works. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish sewing all these buttons on, and I will be back to show you the finished shirt. So I am all out of natural light for the day. It is 5:06 p.m. and this is how far I've gotten. So here's the top. I haven't pressed it yet, but so far it's done. I decided to put the choker on the mannequin. It looks really cute. So today we got through the skirt and the shirt. Tomorrow we'll come back and we will do the cardigan. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, so it is officially morning again. It is 8:15 a.m. We are gonna go ahead and get started again. Yesterday I completed the pleated skirt, which I never want to do pleats ever again after this project. I just don't want to, okay? I also did the shirt, which does need a final press, but we'll get to that at the end. Yesterday, for the first time, I sewed buttons on by machine, and so many people were in my DMs on Instagram because just like me, they had no idea that that could be done, although looking back now, it makes sense, obviously, that it could be done. So I just discovered something new yesterday, so we're really excited for that. So the last part of this project is really to do the jacket. So we're gonna spend today working on that. And just like we did for the other two pieces, we are gonna start working on this with my least favorite part, which is cutting out the pattern pieces. Alright, so I'm officially done with this. That's it. It's over. The video's over. This pattern was pretty simple. I will say though that the measurements that are on the envelope are a little wonky, so my advice, if you are looking to try this pattern, I would probably go with your regular size. I cut a size 16 for the top and a size 18 for the skirt, and I'm pretty sure I could have gotten away with cutting like a size 12 for both the shirt and the jacket, and maybe a 16 for the skirt. So that's something for me to note for next time. But overall, this pattern was pretty simple to follow. I just think I need to cut it in a smaller size, and it definitely worked for what I wanted to use it for. I will probably pull this pattern out again the next time that I want a uniform-based cosplay. Just off the top of my head, you could probably use this pattern for like a kakaguri costume. It's a very versatile pattern in my opinion, but I am super excited to finally have made this costume. It is very, very hot. This costume and this New York City summer heat right now. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video down below. Let me know, do you remember Rosario 2 Vampire? Like, does this series mean anything to you the way that it does something to me? Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.